All right, y'all. I don't make these videos this often. I have a lot to do in the summer. I'm going to be dropping a lot of videos in June for some stuff coming up. I've already made the pre-post for you all to get ready for that. So we're in the thick of summer now. We're past Memorial Day. Although I did film this Memorial Day, we're past Memorial Day. People are already traveling. You're already feeling the squeeze based on gas prices. I'm going to show you some things, or we're going to more so talk about Spirit Airlines. And then I'm going to give you my theory as to what's going to happen in the next decade. And we'll go from 2026 to 2036, and you'll see the difference. And why I made this video to begin with. Before I get to Spirit Airlines, let's talk about Japan. Their population's dropping, right? And as a result of their population drawing, y'all saw the article that's about to pop up for the second time. Robots from China are now being tested to handle your luggage. Not for the reason you think, is because Japan is running out of people. And therefore, robots are needed to replace workers that they cannot get to their airports. Pardon the burp. It all makes sense. Japan is one of the most sought after travel destinations in the world. And they're not going to allow a lack of people there. Even their royal family's running out of people to take the throne because they won't let a woman be empress alone with a prince consort. They only allow males to be emperor, and they only have really four males. One is in his late 80s, early 90s. There's Emperor Naruhito, then his brother, who's the crown prince, Prince Fumihito, and Prince Fumihito's son, Prince Hisahito, who's barely in his 20s now, I think. So all around, Japan's running out of people. Don't think, because they're a technologically advanced society, that these robots are just going to stop at airports. But Japan's tourism is not going to permit that country to go under tourism-wise as a result of a lack of humans. If you are a human right now, even if you're not in that country, this should scare you. Because depending on how well this works, they won't even eventually need you at all, even if the population was to make an increase. Which it's not. I still believe in population control, but I'm not going to push that here. They are becoming the test country to let people know in the West and in the advanced Eastern countries. Congratulations, you're being replaced. I've been to Japan before. I went to Nagasaki and Sasebo many years ago. And Sasebo had this big mall with several floors that went for miles. That sucker was terrific. I had to be careful. I spent a lot of money in Japan. I'd love to go back to Sasebo. There's a chance that I could, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video. Okay, so let's segue to Spirit Airlines. I'm just going to be real with you. I never knew that this airline existed until I constantly saw a lot of Americans getting into fights. Spirit, and let me say this, my condolences to and my sympathies to the people who lost their job. This wasn't the time for that, because I can see that some of y'all really did love working for this company. It did a lot for you to pay your bills in this type of economy. To lose your job like that and for someone to abruptly shutter is just absolutely devastating. Here's the thing. I never heard of Spirit in my life until videos kept showing up in my feed of people filming people fighting on that airline. For all intents and purposes, there is a part of Spirit that was just really ghetto. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm glad to see it go, because I'm not happy when anybody loses their job. So this ain't that video for y'all coming, yay, they getting rid of that ghetto airline. It was ghetto. So I'm not, just don't take that the wrong way. That's what it was. Now, two additional airlines, I forgot which ones, and I don't know if I'm going to reference them in this video, that are very small. I know one is called Sun Country. I can't think of the name of the other. Are going to combine in order to save themselves and maybe a budget travel. What did Spirit Airlines tell you when they decided to pull the plug? Because sources say that Spirit hadn't been making money in years. What Spirit told you with its closure is that traveling on a budget is gonna peace out. Okay, that's exactly what Spirit Airlines told you. Well, Tara, what's the relevance of this video? What are you trying to say? I've been watching luxury travel for years with different YouTubers. And I'm going to bring up something from United Airlines in just a few. It should pop up in a few minutes. What sets the United States' airline industry apart from everyone else's? When you take flights to any other country, just about every other country, meals were given to you for free. And there are people who have made videos about this, that even the lower end passengers on airplanes going to some countries, they don't get caviar, obviously, or wine or anything like that. But a basic meal that will fill them up was provided for free. The United States were giving people on these flights sodas, chips, peanuts, and little things, and cookies, and we think we did something, and packing people in sardine cans. We have, from a flight standpoint, been the laughingstock of the world for decades. Because the object of the game is to get as many bodies, warm bodies in those seats as possible. What we sacrificed was the quality to give a better service as a result. And now everybody's up in arms. If your flight is less than this, Delta ain't giving stuff out no more. Now here's that picture of United Airlines, which, by the way, is my favorite American carrier. I've never had a problem with United, so I know that y'all can pick what y'all's favorites might be. United's my favorite, and I'll leave it at that. And this flight is talking about some caviar can be offered to these people. Of course, they're going to pay a premium for them. You're seeing the airport lounges, right? What does United have to do with this argument, Tara? If y'all watch YouTube, you've seen Qatar Airlines, you've seen Etihad, you've seen Emirates, you've seen Thai Airways. People paying a high premium are getting high premium in return. Turn down service to sleep at night on long flights. Pajamas. They're getting goodie bags from luxury brands in Europe and around the world. They're getting suites. They're getting whole showers in flight. Something that the American air industry does not do. Well, Tara, what does that have to do with Spirit Airlines? You take away the cheapest airline, and then your top competitors, Delta, American to a small degree right now, but definitely Southwest to a small degree, but Delta and freaking United are doing all of these new things in their planes. They're lessening the seats and making them more luxurious now. See, I gave you that silence. What are they trying to tell you? Or what are they actually telling you? Between people fighting on airplanes, because they're using this as an excuse. They've probably been planning this for years. And the United States' refusal to give up its exceptionalism, they're going to do what other countries now do and make travel so luxurious, you're going to go broke trying to afford it. I'm sorry, this is going to make some of y'all mad. I look at these seats and I'm proud of United. Look forward to making the money, which I'm slowly doing now, to sit in those seats. I don't want to be packed like a sardine can on a flight with people who are intrusive and want to just lean on you all the time. Oh, Tara, that's selfish. No, I don't think that it is. Because they're making it now to where they're competing with their foreign predecessors. I won't say predecessors, with their foreign competition to make flights better. This is being done to eliminate a certain type of person. And I'm not saying this necessarily racially. Because most of the time, if you pay this much for a ticket, look at these things. I didn't look at the ticket price, but you know it's going to be expensive just by looking at it. If I want to give a high premium flight to the United States, and I want those seats to be more comfortable, I need to now attract a certain clientele, because there was a time when us being a free country, they tried to put as many people in those seats as possible. Now they'd rather have your revenue and give you a higher level of service than to deal with people like what happened on Spirit Airlines that like fighting all the time. Traveling on easy street is ending, okay? So I hope in 2026 you're building your skills and doing what you have to do. This is not a judgmental video. This is me just letting you know based on what I see, what I think is happening. Traveling on easy street in this country, even in and out of this country, no matter where you go, it's not going to be cheap anymore. There are people online right now complaining that flying sometimes from one state to the state next to them is costing a couple $100s. What you want to bet by 2030, it's going to be difficult to find tickets that are a couple hundred. You're going to be at that 1,000 or above threshold. This is by design. The United States, from a business standpoint, looked at, probably my theory, which I told y'all, probably looked at Thai Airways, looked at Etihad, looked at Cathay back when Cathay was a big thing. I've heard they're having issues now. Looked at Emirates, looked at Qatar. They probably even looked at the emerging African ones like Ethiopian Airlines, which is also kind of on the come up. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. And probably told themselves, we're better off giving premium seats and catering to a certain clientele. Y'all talking about the discrimination laws, or we'll put in quotation, discrimination, may find it hard to believe that this is what this country is going to do. I was pretty happy and relieved that people, when Spirit closed down, realized the implication of getting cheaper flights, even within the United States. Flights ain't been cheap for me for years. Flying from to and from Washington State to Alabama, that's always going to cost me a couple $1,000s. I'm so accustomed to it, I just don't fight it anymore. Just put me on United as much as possible. Okay? That's all I ask. Because that's my airline. Those seats on United Airlines, they are slowly telling you what they are going to do. And you can't beat that type of comfort. What I'm telling you is a lot of this stuff between the robots carrying things, meaning there's less need for humans. And don't think the United States won't do it. To where eventually on the ground you're going to have robots carrying luggage, because that's the easy place to start. Because once Japan do it, it wouldn't be a far stretch for the United States to start doing it in certain airports till it becomes normal, because our population is also dropping. After all of this happens, what you think the society would need to do with you? This sounds pessimistic, but I want you to put on your thinking cap and let it marinate. Everything was done to divide men and women on purpose. Now no one wants to get married. Now populations are dropping. Now robots are taking over everyday things. Now planes in the United States, they used to pack like sardines, which I still argue is a good thing, are starting to spread out and give you a lot more room and a lot more comfort, but less people will be on those flights. Just let it marinate. Spirit was the end of an era and the beginning of something that's going to lock a lot of people down. I hope y'all are ready for it.